Okay.
You got it? Wow, okay.
Ohayo gozaimasu.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good to see you.
Yeah, me too. Actually, I was looking forward to seeing you because, Michael told you a lot about you.
Oh, and the same about you. It's
Thank
such a pleasure.
That's great. And also, thank you so much. But I know that you have a lot of a busy schedule.
Yes, I do. I do. And with COVID-19, we have to figure out so much in the moment. We're trying to design a new normal. So things are very busy.
Got it.
Yes.
Yeah, particularly you are related to the government official, and then you are involved about a lot of such kind of strategy.
Yes, so I am the Executive Director of Culture at the Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture. So
Yes.
I'm responsible for informing the minister, the Honorable Minister, and the Prime Minister on all cultural matters, cultural policy, national festivals and events, and the list goes on and on and on. But
Beautiful.
It is my joy and my passion to serve my country in this way.
That's great. Well, Nassau and Bahamas is really famous for two things. One, which is, of course, financial center, and the second, which is a tourism center, right? And I understand that this corona pandemic caused a serious damage on the, tourism side, I believe.
It really has. And I think this is an interesting time for us as a people to now focus not only on our beautiful natural resources and tourism in the traditional way that we know it, but to look to the future. What is coming next? And how can we encourage our people? How can we promote our people? I think one of the strategies that we missed out on was that we focused on the outside in, just coming for the sun, sand, and sea. But we've had Hurricane Dorian, natural disasters. We have a global pandemic. So at the end of the day, what do people have to come here for? We have a marvelous culture. We have vibrant people. We have a strong story. So now this is forcing us to challenge ourselves as a people to tell our collective story and to look into other sectors like film and television and media, like cultural heritage and exchange. And so I'm excited because that's my sector. I'm excited for that opportunity.
Well, in that case, as through the media and the internet, you want to create a new strategy of promoting your culture and also tourism.
Yes, exactly right.
Okay. Of course, Japan is far away from Nassau. However, I believe that from Florida, not so far away. So please tell Japanese that what is a major point of the tourism over there?
Well, when you come here, yes, Florida has the sun, sand, and sea, but it is nothing. Nowhere on this planet is like the Bahamas. And there's not only Nassau, we have 700 islands and keys. We have about 18 inhabited islands that you can travel to.
Okay.
And when the astronauts went to NASA and they looked down on Earth, the most beautiful thing that they saw were the waters in Exuma, which is one of our islands. It stood out from space. It is the most beautiful thing that they saw. And so that's one thing that you can come for in the Bahamas. But I will always push our culture. We have such a rich history and tradition from the Africans that came here, from the indigenous peoples, like the Lucayans. We have a long history with the Greeks being here, Greek Bahamians, Chinese Bahamians.
Lucayas, tell me, what is Lucayas?
The Lucayans were the first peoples that Columbus discovered. I always hesitate when I say discovered because they were here, but he he came here and met them and recorded it, and he was the first to do so. And so they are the original people here.
I see, original people.
Yes.
Okay, so you mentioned the Greeks and many places also.
Yes, well, we had, so you had the Lucayans, and after the Lucayans, you had the Loyalists who came from Europe. And after that, you had the slave trade, and we had people coming in from Africa. And so that's what our heritage is, that mixture of people and cultures and traditions. And of course, we have Portuguese. So the Bahamians are quite a melting pot. Even in the Caribbean, we are like no other Caribbean nation. We speak differently. You will notice I don't speak like a Jamaican or a Trinidadian, but my accent is still very musical. And we have various dialects within the Bahamas. So I'm from the capital city and I speak a little more Americanized, people would say. But if you were to go to Eleuthera, they talk like this and you wouldn't even know where you are.
Oh, wow, that's great. You mentioned the loyalist, which is from, England?
Yes, the loyalists from England came here. So they were the first to establish the colonies.
I understand. But that kind of Lucayans or loyalist, that kind of explanation, it's quite interesting for me.
Yes. Well, I would love for you to come, Hiroshi. So this is your official invitation. I would love for you to come.
Wow. Yeah, particularly from the government official, I got the invitation. I expect a lot. Thank you.
Well, you can come with Mr. Novak, who is the chairman of my company, Bahamas Artist Movement. Mm-hmm. He is an honorary Bahamian. And so you can, of course, come with him anytime. But when you do come, we would love for you to go to Clifton Heritage Site. Mm-hmm. And I brought that up because you mentioned the Lucayans and how you're fascinated with that.
Yeah.
On that property, we actually still have remnants of where they lived and the practices that they did every day, as well as the Africans and the loyalists, all on one property.
I understand. Would you please tell me, in the United States, I heard that kind of vaccination is already going on very well. How about in Bahamas right now?
Well, we received the vaccination about 2 weeks ago. And I think so far, about 50,000 people have been vaccinated, but there is a system. So we're doing frontline workers and those that are most vulnerable, like our elderly. So it hasn't come to my age category as yet.
Well, I understand, but of course, population is smaller than the United States. So 15,000 is a big percentage already.
It is a huge percentage. Our population is roughly about 400,000.
So are you expecting, complete vaccination pretty soon?
We are. There is an educational campaign that's happening right now. We're very, much like Japan, old world and traditional. Although you embrace technology way more than we do, but we hold on to a lot of those values of our ancestors. And so it is a bit challenging for people to accept something that this new. They're not necessarily comfortable with that. So there's a lot of education that will need to happen in order to get everyone to buy into this.
Yeah, okay. I hope it will be done pretty soon. And then, everybody can go on the revitalization of the tourism, I believe.
Yes. But let me tell you something about the Bahamas. Like I said, we have many islands. In the capital city, we have COVID cases, but I go to Cat Island next week. There are no cases in 18, there are 18 inhabited. There are no cases in 14 islands.
Wow.
At all, COVID free.
That's great. Wow. Well, that way, island country can survive, including like a financial kind of a strategy, tourism strategy, as well as such kind of a quarantine strategy.
Exactly. Also, we have the maritime tourism that we can tap into. And so we're doing things differently because of COVID-19, and you still wear the masks, wash your hands, but you can pull up on your boat and you can still come and have a wonderful tourism experience, and you can actually drive around depending on your island on boats.
Oh, wow. Wow. As a kind of government high rank officer, I would like to have one question, because, these days a lot of hurricanes or global warmings, is going on. And how as a government want to protect this beautiful world, for your survival too?
Well, there is a 2040 strategy that was recently released. And so there are campaigns and strategies within the government for each agency to participate in protecting our natural resources, mainly our sea. And so we're looking into solar technology more. That is one. Reusable sources of energy. That's another. Even in the way that we approach our architecture, we have the conch shell that we use for construction as well. And of course, we have our sand. And so that is the main tool, solar technology and other forms of reusable energy. is our way to protect the future.
I see. So that is a kind of a new way. I believe that to protect our nature from the ocean level is going higher and higher. And some of your islands may have some kind of a issue there.
Mm-hmm. Well, yes, we'll be sinking and the water is rising. And so, I mean, the only thing we can do is try to honor nature and be as clean with our energy as possible. But that's really sort of out of our control at this point. But we can all take personal responsibility. And I think if we all come together and do that, we can be successful in preserving our nation.
Exactly. This is a tough issue, but actually for the government, I believe there are some kind of pressure on the United Nations or somewhere to put the pressure on that.
Yes, well, I don't know if you're familiar with the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. That is one, making sure that we take care of our communities, reusable energy, protection for global warming initiatives, empowering local governments and campaigns in order to make people aware of what is going on and ways in which they can participate in preserving our environment and keeping it clean.
Ah, I see. So you must be quite busy.
Oh, Hiroshi. You have no idea. You have no idea. I am very busy, but it's busy working with my people and for my people and doing what I love and educating people and learning myself and growing. I have children and I want to ensure that there is an island for them to grow up on and to live and love as I do.
How would you thinking about other islands? Some island is relatively poor comparing with the Nassau area. So you need to raise the economy also to the other islands. Maybe, for example, like Caribbean immigrant people or something like this.
Now, do you mean islands within the Bahamas, or you mean Caribbean, the Caribbean nation?
Oh, no, Bahamas islands.
Well, the Bahamas is an interesting place. Yes, Nassau is the capital. Fun fact, we are the richest island nation in the Western Hemisphere, so similar to Japan in that way.
Sure.
And I think there is a lot of misinformation out there because while we have less infrastructure on some of the islands and less inhabitants, we actually have more billionaires and millionaires per capita. And so we have a lot of private developments. We have islands and smaller keys, which are actually owned by Disney. And so the economies are faring well. If you look at Abaco, for example, Abaco has several smaller communities that they're building, but the wealth that is in there is actually assisting in rebuilding Abaco because of the hurricane, the damage from Hurricane Dorian. But there's quite a lot of wealth there. What we need to focus on rather is harnessing that wealth into developing infrastructure. And that's always a catch-22 because you don't have a lot of people, meaning you don't have a lot of pollution. Do you want to disrupt that? So there's a little push and pull there.
I understand. Well, I mean, of course, that's the reason, of course, Bahamas is quite famous for the so-called tax haven country.
Yes.
In that case, do you want me to invest on Bahamas, putting a saving over there?
Do I want you to, what, sorry?
Can I say, like, if I'm a rich person, it is a good idea to have a saving over there in the Bahamas to keep the money?
Come immediately. I believe, I believe in communal wealth. If you are wealthy and you are able to keep your money and you are able to invest in our economy, we will welcome you with open arms. I think this is a wonderful place. We would always ask as a people that you invest in our community, you invest in our culture, but come and save your money and prosper. There are so many untapped opportunities with 400,000 people and endless land and islands. Come.
That's great. That's great. Okay. You are still working as a ministry of the culture, or are you right now? Can I say?
I am.
Okay.
Yes,
As a minister of the culture, would you please send a message to Japanese, please?
Okay, wow. Yeah. This is a wonderful opportunity. To the Japanese people, I want to say that I respect and I revere your culture greatly. I think that there is so much we can learn from you. You are a strong, innovative people. And like you, the Bahamian are strong, resilient, and innovative. And so I think that there's so much synergy here that we can explore. And I would love to see opportunities for us to connect, for us to discuss ways to preserve our environments with climate change, because there's so much that I think we can learn from each other. And so I want to thank you for this opportunity, Hiroshi. And of course, Mr. Novak, who introduced me to you and gave me this platform and this opportunity. But that is my message to the people in Japan.
Wow, thank you. I believe that both country is island country. So I believe that we can share the experience, and also we can create a synergy in that.
I agree with that. And Mr. Novak was telling me about the solar toilets. And I found in Japan, and I found that to be extremely fascinating, because I really believe, particularly in what we call our family islands, we need to explore these types of technology if we want to sort of balance out what's happening with the climate change. And so we are not as advanced in that regard. And I really want to explore these types of technologies and just harness whatever we can from Japan.
And also now going to the warm seasons, particularly in the Caribbean islands, of course, from now on to the summer, to the autumn, of course, you may expect a lot of hurricanes. So just you are preparing right now, for many things, right?
After Hurricane Dorian, which no one could have imagined, we are in a consistent state of preparation. We are hoping, and against all hope, we're hoping that we don't have any hurricanes as severe as that. So far, things look good. Our hurricane season is usually in October now. It used to be, when I was growing up, that the hurricane season would be in the summer months. So in June through August, we would prepare for hurricanes. But now hurricanes have been moved all the way back because of climate change to October, November. And so that is our season that we prepare for now.
That's great. Thank you so much, Rowena. Quite a lot of great information. And I really want to stay in touch, and more than stay in touch.
Oh, please. Yes. And I am very serious on my invitation to come here. I can travel around the islands with you and show you the beauty and the wonder of my beautiful Bahamas.
And everybody can speak English like you?
Yes, for the most part. You
mentioned that you have a Jamaican kind of a background. You mentioned that.
Well, my husband is actually Jamaican Bahamian. But I'm from the Bahamas, and in the Bahamas we have different dialects. So I'm speaking like this, but if I were to speak to some of my cousins from Eleuthera, I was going into that dialect. We'd be like, "Hi, how you doing? Oh, I'm going over there," and we talk like that. And I don't know what you're saying. So it's different depending on the island and who you're speaking to. And we have colloquialisms like, "Hey, boy, what you saying? I ain't going over there. You going over there? Going to the bathroom?" Things like that.
Wow. That's good. Yeah. Thank you, Rowena, for your time. And I really enjoyed. So let's, again, more than stay in touch.
I so enjoyed this.
In the future, let's get together.
Let's get together. Arigato.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.